Welcome back to the Chat Time Pod. It's your host Red. I got a video today with Nova. We reacted to It's Complicated. Things got heated. It really shows that women feel attacked when we try to bring facts and just tell them truths. It's interesting to have it live in front of me like that. Please, our 5,000 episodes coming up soon. My partner Max is coming in. I'm super excited for this. I'm gonna keep plugging this in for the next couple days just because I've been wanting him to get on the pod for a little bit, and he's been busy doing the other side of chow time things. So please subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that. And let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
Why are men more focused on self-improvement than men's rights?
You can't go around talking about men's rights. I mean, it's like...
Women get upset.
It's bad for business.
Yeah.
Can you be more specific? What do you mean it's bad for business?
If I actually pandered to women, my channel would be so much bigger, so much more popular. But I don't. I do men's stuff, so, I get flack from women all the time.
Like men's right, like it's assumed that men already have all the rights. I think in Vegas in particular, women have a lot of maybe unfair advantages, particularly with the nightlife and getting free stuff, and men can't get in certain places, have all women's tables, that type of thing.
This is so true.
Yeah.
I never really realized that until I was actually in Vegas. I went on a girls' trip, but one of the girls brought her boyfriend and had her own room, which is fine. She wanted to bring him. That's fine. But when we got to a club, it was like a pool party, right? And we all got in for free, and he had to pay $80. And he actually was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to the hotel. I don't even like this DJ like that. There's already too many people in there. I'm not paying $80 just to go in. And I was like, you know what? I probably wouldn't have paid the $80 to get in either. I wasn't even mad, but it made me realize, like, dang, just because I'm a girl, I got in for free.
Not just a girl. A good-looking girl. Remember, there's non-good-looking girls that get treated like men, that they would have to pay or they won't get in for free.
Like, the guy literally was like, go, and it was like, you go to the ticket booth or whatever, go to the other line. And I was like, what?
Women have no clue. If all men chose to not care for sex, women would go broke.
I mean, I don't.
Rights, because it's a bad look, right?
You have no clue.
Yeah, my job, my
side.
career isn't in
It's
sex,
not just
though.
you. It doesn't have to be sex. It's the club. We just talked about it. If men didn't go to clubs because they're looking for sex, do you think you would get in for free? Because there's no men in there to spend money.
Yeah.
So it's not. See, you automatically think about it's the sex side of things.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
I'm not making money off of that.
But
like,
you save money. But oh yeah, the sex side, yes. But women would go broke because they would have to pay for everything normally.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have paid to get into the club either.
Exactly,
I would have been like, all right, y'all have fun. I'm a go.
Exactly.
I'll go have a pool party at the hotel we're staying at. I don't need to get into this fancy club.
You're pushing a boulder uphill at that point.
I mean, isn't that even more of a reason to talk about it?
Yeah, you could. I'm not good. I'm not gonna fight that fight. Gotta pick and choose your battles, dude.
I chose to fight the fight.
Can you name any laws in our society that cater exclusively to men or women?
Conscription.
Abortion laws.
There's lots of laws for men. I don't know what they are, but...
I know the divorce laws mostly cater to women for sure. She can marry you and leave you the same day and take half the stuff. That's not fair. That's not really cool at all.
How do nightclubs get away with charging men a higher admission fee than women? Isn't that sexist?
I mean, yeah, but do I like it? Sure.
I like
This
it
is
too.
the only time women...
I like it too. Let me go dance for free. I'm down. Free drinks too, just for having this wristband. I'm
This
cool
is
with
why
that.
men say women only care about equal rights or privilege when it only affects them, when it doesn't affect them. So all of the privilege that they get, why don't they fight for equal rights for all people to be paying in the club? Why? Because you benefit from it.
Men rule.
Wild.
I'm just...
Men have to pay like $40 to get in, and the woman's free. So that I would say that's sexist.
Of course it is, yeah. But you want to go to a club with only dudes?
If private companies can get away
That's
with
a
that
good
type
question.
of sexism,
Would you
Exactly.
pay to go to a club with only dudes? Would you pay to get into that club?
That's why you get in for free. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If men didn't care for sex the way that we did, you wouldn't get in for free either because there'd be no men there to spend money.
The crazy thing is, though, is like if there was a club with all women, I feel like women would still go to that club. They'd still probably pay to get in. But maybe it's not the same for men.
There's no clubs only for women.
I know there isn't, but like what? Just to like counter his question.
But you can't counter it if you're hypothetical. It doesn't exist.
That's true.
Why can't they get away with a gender pay gap?
Oh, gender pay gap. I don't know if there's a gender pay gap though. I mean, I guess you could say that maybe beautiful women get a position because they're beautiful and gorgeous, and a man probably has to, work harder to make his money. But I don't know if there's a necessarily a gender gap in that regard.
There isn't
The
a
equal
gender
pay-
pay gap in like the lower level jobs. Like
Even the higher level jobs.
but I'm just saying, like, he said he didn't know. And I think he's right in that sense of like, when I was starting out, like working just regular, I worked in retail, but I didn't get like, how do you say, commission? Or when I was working at a restaurant, there was men and women were getting paid the same. That was like the standard minimum wage. So when he said he didn't know if there was, I feel like the pay gap argument doesn't really come into effect unless you're working like a 9-to-5 or like a major corporate America job.
You're wrong.
Like
Google did a research on how if they had a gender pay gap between men and women in their own company, and they realized that they're paying women more than they're paying men for the amount of time and effort that these people are putting in.
for what position though?
All positions. So even from the low ground all the way up to high end executive positions, the men were putting in way more time and effort into these positions, but these women are actually getting paid slightly more than these men for less time and effort put into these positions.
But I don't really understand how that's possible.
Because of this whole gender pay cap thing.
But if I was clocking in the same time that you're
No,
clocking
their
in,
salary. Once you get to a certain
That's
level
what I
of
was
pay,
saying.
it becomes
a corporate America job,
again,
like
because of this gender pay cap that women keep pushing, they're pushing for women to keep getting paid more, but they're not deserving of this more pay. So corporations are folding under this gender pay cap thing, so they're trying to fix it, but when they actually do the research, no, they're overpaying these women for the amount of work they're actually doing compared to the men. So this is,
I mean, I can agree with that to a certain degree, just because when women have to go home or to take care of their kids or whatever, they're not going to put in as much time. But like I was talking about the lower level jobs.
yeah, again, low level jobs, you're right. They all get paid the same. So you just agree with the high level job and you're agreeing with the low level job. Where's the pay gap now?
Well, I don't know what you're questioning.
No, because you said at the higher levels.
There might be. I mean, I've never
said
had to
might
work
be.
fully corporate America. I wouldn't know.
Well, I just explained to you that Google did their own internal research of all their execs and what they get paid, and the women actually get paid more than the men. There's no gender pay gap. There really isn't. Again, there's salary, right? So they get paid that much no matter what, and the men are still putting in more time.
I
But
can
women-
agree that
but-
men probably do put in more time.
But the women are still getting paid more than these men.
But
That's
now-
why they
Because women are also now the majority that populates universities. If you look at that as well, women are going to school, men aren't. So wouldn't they by default be the ones getting the higher paying jobs if they've got more education?
remember, to be in those positions, you all have to have very similar criterias. So your extra education thing is kind of false, because to be an executive in Google, you don't think they all have to have masters and things like that. They all have very similar credentials. But women, because they're women, are actually getting paid more, because women have been yelling gender pay gap. So companies are like, shit, we should just start paying women more. And then now they did the internal research and said, oh shit, we're actually paying them more than men because of this whole gender pay gap thing. I'm saying it the way I'm saying it is because women are saying there's such a gender pay gap everywhere. Corporations try to remedy this, but when they actually did the research and what they're paying their people, they're actually fucking it up. So,
But the same could be said about like the quotas for having diversity hires, right? Sometimes they hire people that aren't necessarily qualified for the job,
You know,
but because of the diversity hire, we now have this person that's not qualified, but because
they have the same credentials, but they might not have the same experience as another person. Did you know there's also diversity hires for women?
Okay, so then how is that a woman's fault then?
It's not. We didn't blame women. You're taking it like wrong. Like because there is a
because you keep saying
affirmative
women are
action.
complaining
because
of this
because
pay gap, but the
do you
same can
not
be
hear-
said for a diversity gap. Like I'm saying, a diversity hire. The same can be said. How is that their fault that they got hired and are getting paid more?
That's what
That's the company's fault, not
Women-
a woman's fault.
women are still complaining that there's a gender pay gap when they get preferences to get hired over men. That's what I was trying to explain before you took offense to it. But
I'm not getting offended.
you-
You're
you-
yelling at me.
I'm not yelling. You kind of attacked me about it, and I was just like, no.
Well, because the same thing can be said, but it's literally the company's fault. It's gonna be her fault. Like,
we
how's that?
didn't blame women, but women are still complaining that there's a gender pay gap currently.
Okay, but you brought that up when there was no woman on the screen complaining. It was a guy talking
we're
about.
talking about gender pay gap.
Yeah, but the guy didn't say that. He said that he wasn't sure at the base level. So that's what I was responding to. I was
explaining further into the gender pay gap issue.
Yeah, but then you brought up women are complaining about it when there was nobody complaining about it in the video.
Just because there's no one in the video doesn't mean I was false. Like, I'm trying to.
Yeah, but you're trying to tell me something that, okay.
Like,
okay.
Do you not hear women complaining about?
No.
Do you not hear women complaining about gender pay gap?
And not where I work, but I also work in a small office.
You've never heard women complain about gender pay gap.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking. We're talking about gender pay gap. So you were trying to straw man me, and it's just like I'm explaining to you, women complain about it, and then corporations try to fix it.
But why is that their fault?
I didn't blame women. I'm blaming women for complaining about it. That's what I'm trying to say. Women are complaining about it, but there's no such thing as a gender pay gap. Why are they complaining?
I'm not complaining about it.
I didn't say you. Right? You're taking offense to it. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about most women that are complaining about it. That was some interesting chow. That was just part of that video. And it's funny how, women really seem to think because men are telling them facts or saying certain things about women that we're attacking women, or especially her in particular, because she was like, it's not me. And it's like, well, it's not women's fault. I didn't blame women for there not being a gender pay gap. I'm just blaming women for complaining about the gender pay gap. But all of a sudden it derailed to, the back and forth of just like her feeling attacked. Please subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys next time.